If there is a campaign, it clearly isn't working. The next day, I'm called back to Surat's office to meet a relative of the most recent victim of the authorities. Officials say Samandar Umarov, 35, died in jail just 2 months ago from a brain hemorrhage. But his sister, Yashma, says he was tortured almost every day for years. She blames the government for his death. Yashma says the government's hardline actions against people like her brother are breeding anger. Uzbekistan's government says tough tactics are needed to crush the threat of Islamic terror. But the facts don't bear that out. Many of those targeted have no connection with any Islamic groups. Atanaza Arifov is a secular politician, leader of Uzbekistan's biggest democratic opposition group. His party is banned, he spent 8 months in jail for challenging dictatorship, and his 4 sons are in exile on pain of imprisonment or death. His granddaughter and daughter-in-law can't join one of his sons. The government refuses them an exit visa. This, he says, is the cost of being a Democrat in one of America's allies in the war on terror.
Amerika hükümeti Uzbekistan'da ro'y berayotgan voqea hodisalardan xabardor va bizdan ko'ra ham yaxshiroq biladi.
Activists believe this is one of the reasons why top US officials remain silent on Uzbekistan's abuses. Just 1 month after September the 11th, Washington was given permission to use this old Soviet airbase in southern Uzbekistan to support operations just across the border in Afghanistan.
This is a map of the area of responsibility that encompasses or defines Operation Enduring Freedom.
From here, US military flights can reach from Russia to Iran. Its long-term strategic value undeniable.
O'sha hamkorlikdan keyin 1 yil o'tar o'tmas, misol uchun Amerika Qo'shma Shtati, masalan, men elchixonadan bilaman, men bularning harakatidan menga bu ma'lum, O'zbekistondagi inson huquqlari borasidagi qarashlarni o'zgartirdi anchagina. Ya'ni bunga e'tiborni kamaytirdi va umuman yo'q qildi ham desa ham bo'ladi.
Many in Uzbekistan wait for any Western leader to condemn injustice here. Injustice that's known to fuel global jihad.
Demokratik oppozitsiyaning, demokratik muxolifatning mana shunaqa bosim ostida bir kuchsizlantirib, kuchsiz holatga keltirilganligi asosiy sabablardan bittasi diniy ekstremizmning yuzaga kelishi va uning tarqalishi.
It's now also claimed that US agents have been flying captured and kidnapped Al-Qaeda suspects into Uzbekistan for interrogation. In the world of intelligence, it's called rendition. To the rest of the world, it's a guaranteed plane trip to torture.
I know that the Americans have brought people back to Uzbekistan from Bagram airport in order to be interrogated, and that those people have been brought back by the Americans on American planes with American personnel.
Murray says there's no doubt Western intelligence knows the information it's getting is gained under torture. As ambassador, he sent an embassy official to the US mission in Tashkent to make sure.
She reported back to me, but the CIA chief there said, yes, you're right. I guess this material would have been obtained under torture. You know, it's strange. I never thought about that as a problem before.
Having been forced out of Uzbekistan and of his career by the Foreign Office, Craig Murray is now hard at work on the campaign trail back home.
You won't find MI6 agents in any country where you can't buy a cappuccino.
This is a gathering of Muslim financial workers in London.
It's extremely dangerous to have a beard in Uzbekistan.
The electorate he's contesting has one of the biggest Muslim populations in the United Kingdom, and Murray's message is that many of those who die in Uzbek prisons are being tortured to confess they are Muslim militants.
And they were surrounded by 17 armed guards with machine pistols. So it's very hard.
As the campaign gains pace, Murray is still reeling from the way he says the Foreign Office turned on him for breaking diplomatic ranks and going public.
The prisoners were constantly harangued by the judge. So then they started contacting the media, telling people I was an alcoholic, telling people I was offering visas in exchange for sex. And they brought up these amazing allegations against me as formal charges, which were then dropped.
Britain's Foreign Office says Murray was withdrawn because he could no longer perform the full range of duties required in relations with Uzbekistan. In a carefully worded statement, it says government agencies oppose torture and would never instigate others to use torture. But it does not refute the charge that it accepts intelligence from Uzbekistan where torture is known to be used. Murray knows he's unlikely to win a seat here in Westminster, but for him it's more about spreading the message that the West is paying too high a price for bad intelligence on Islamic fundamentalism.
Torture breeds hatred. Ill treatment, repression breeds hatred. And because of our short-sighted policy in Central Asia, that hatred is directed not just at KARIMOV, but at the West, who are seen as his close supporters. So really, we're creating terrorism. In the future, this is going to come back and hit us, and we are creating the terrorism that we claim we are fighting.